Top 10 School BL Series of all time. School-themed BL series are some of the most popular BLs and also the most common you can find in the catalogues of BLs. Some people find these really interesting, but some also find these a little bit boring for them. Well, this video is for those who really love to watch school-themed BL series and just want to see those cute students from the different titles. Before anything else, which school-themed BL is your most favorite? Share it with us on the comments below. Anyway, if you live in a different country and some BL series are not available to yours, you can use ExpressVPN to watch those restricted series. Use the link on the description below to have 49% discount and 3 months free if you opt to avail the 12-month plan. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Number 10. History 3. Make Our Days Count. This BL could have been one of the most favorite BLs of all time by some fans if it's not only due to its ending. Luckily, Life Love on the Line gave us a sneak peek on an alternate ending of the two main leads on its finale episode. History 3 Make Our Days Count is a school-themed BL which revolves around the hate-love story of Zhang Haoting and Yushigu. In the first few episodes, we could see the personalities of the two being extreme opposites, but later on, the two find themselves being drawn together. Since earlier this year, rumors have said that the second season is on the works with Shigu being alive again for some reasons. Well, we still don't know if it's true or not, but only time can tell. Number 9. Love by Chance. This BL was first aired in 2018 and a lot of BL fans adored the characters of this series. Our love story will start just because of an accident in a university. Pete was hit by a boy on a bike. The first time they laid their eyes with each other, they could already feel something for one another. Because of Pete's past, A becomes his knight in shining armor when he needs him. The cuteness and the chemistry of our two main leads are something we don't see often in some BLs. It's just sad that Love by Chance could be their last BL together because of some issues between their management in the past. Number 8. Fun Type. This BL has been one of the most famous BLs of its time, and that's because of the amazing chemistry of the two main leads. Type is a freshman student in a university who's known for being a homophobic person due to his traumatic experience when he was still a child. Everything is good on his new school until he learns that his roommate, Fun, is gay. The relationship of the two started roughly and might be hard to watch for some, especially in the first few episodes, but later on, the two managed to reconcile. The second season of Fun Type was also released in 2020, which focuses on the lives of Fun and Type 7 years after. Number 7. Where Your Eyes Linger. This BL was the first Korean BL to get mainstream in the BL industry in 2020 and managed to be so much successful. Han Taeju came from a wealthy family and a successor of their business. Kong-guk is Taeju's childhood friend and also his personal bodyguard. When a new female student began to show interest to Kong-guk, Han Taeju started to feel irritated. Because of this, a suppressed emotion will start to surface that could make or break them. With the number of Korean BLs on the rise, I am looking forward for another season of Where Your Eyes Linger in order to explore more on the love story of the two main leads. Number 6. Sottus the Series. This BL started airing on 2016, and even after almost 5 years since the original release date, Sottus is still a relevant BL series until today. Sottus revolves around the characters Kong and Arthit, who happen to have a bad blood between the two because of some extreme activities during their initiation on their university. Kong, a freshman student, starts to voice out the complaints of his co-students and stood up against Arthit. Because of their frequent encounters throughout the show, a mysterious feeling will be developed between the two. Sottus is being dubbed by fans as one of the BLs that paved the way to the mainstream. Number 5. History 2. Crossing the Line. One of the best BLs released way back in 2018. There's no doubt that Crossing the Line is on our list. A love story between two men is already difficult because of the judgment of the society. Then what more if the two of you are stepbrothers? Crossing the Line also has other main couple that involves a former volleyball player and a guy who has a bad temper. A BL which is all about school, youth, passion, sports, and romance. Then History 2. Crossing the Line might be your next BL to binge watch or a BL you need to rewatch. Number 4. I Promised You the Moon. This BL still has 4 more episodes before it concludes, but it already manages to be on our 4th spot of this list. I Promised You the Moon really delivered a beautiful cinematography and a well-balanced story on its plot. Even though I Promised You the Moon only got a single episode as of now, the construction and development are evidence that it's well above from being your average show. I Promised You the Moon followed the story of Tae and Do after leaving Phuket to study on their respective universities in Bangkok. With a new set of characters and challenges on the horizon, are we going to see a happy ending on their story? Number 3. Until We Meet Again. Although it's another school-themed BL series, the surprises and unique plot made it stood out from the rest of the same genre. Until We Meet Again revolves around the story of Dean and Farm, the reincarnations of Korn and In respectively, the time when homosexuality wasn't still accepted by the society. Korn and In got a hard time showcasing their love with one another. The families of both parties were also against on their relationship that pushed both of them to suicide. A couple of years later, the two will be reborn in families that made their past selves suffered a lot. Number 2. I Told Sunset About You. Hailed by some fans as the best BL series of 2020, I Told Sunset About You is deserving to be included in this list. Unlike with some of the BLs mentioned earlier, I Told Sunset About You does not heavily focus on a school setting but rather, on the two main characters of the show. Tae and Do became best friends on their childhood, but due to having the same dream, it turned them into rivals. When the two were preparing for their university admissions, the two meet again in a Chinese language class. This meeting would mark a new beginning on their relationship. Number 1. We Best Love. Number 1 for you. A rivalry between a first and second honor with a twist of love story is the secret recipe of We Best Love. Number 1 for you. This BL is all about Shu Yi's frustrations when he always sees his name on the second spot after Shida. When they were about to enter college, Shu Yi was so excited to part ways with him so he could claim the top spot. But everything fell apart for him when he saw his greatest rival on his university during a swimming competition. A lot of BL fans really love this BL because of the amazing chemistry of the main leads, and of course, the story was also well written. In the upcoming months, there will be a ton of new school-themed BLs that will give us a new perspective on this genre. Some might be tired of watching these students falling in love with one another, but we should know that love does not have an age to begin with. Which school BL series from our list is your most favorite? Thank you for watching. That's it, and see you on the next one.